Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. And I thank you for joining us as we're going through the book of Numbers. We are looking at today, we are spending 2 episodes on this story that happened in Numbers in chapter 27, the beginning of chapter 27, dealing with Zelophehad's daughters. Okay, Zelophehad was a guy, then he died, and he happened to have 5 daughters, all with unique names, and the 5 daughters, there was no sons born to him. And in that day, it was a patriarchal society where, everything was handed down to the men. And so, like in this situation, like, oh no, what do we do? And we talked about it yesterday, how Moses didn't know what to do in the situation. And so he took it to God, and God answered him. And so we talked about that yesterday. Today I want to talk about, it's entitled today, Women's Lib. Okay, and this is kind of a women's liberation movement that happened then. And you're going to find out that Christianity is a religion that has elevated women, all through its history. More so, you won't find any other religion that has elevated women. In fact, I guarantee you, in places where Christianity has not spread, the women are not held in high regard. Okay, so just look around and you'll see that. Let's read here today. This is taken from Numbers chapter 27, verses 1 through 11. It says, "The daughters of Zelophehad, son of Hefer, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, belonged to the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. The names of the daughters were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They came forward and stood before Moses, Eleazar the priest, and the leaders of the whole assembly at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and said, 'Our father died in the wilderness. He was not among Korah's followers, who banded together against the Lord. But he died for his own sin and left no sons. Why should our father's name disappear from the clan because he had no son? Give us property among our father's relatives.'" Okay, important thing here, he died, but he died really of natural causes, and he died when everyone else died here. But he didn't die with Korah and his followers. Okay, so they were quick to point that out. It wasn't from the rebellion of Korah that he died. He died just because everyone else, that whole generation died in the past 38 years here. All right, verse 5. "So Moses brought their case before the Lord," which we talked about yesterday, "and the Lord said to him, 'What Zelophehad's daughters are saying is right. You must certainly give them property as an inheritance among their father's relatives, and give their father's inheritance to them. Say to the Israelites, if a man dies and leaves no son, give his inheritance to his daughter. If he has no daughter, give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brother, give his inheritance to his father's brothers. If his father has no brothers, give his inheritance to the nearest relative in his clan, that he may possess it. This is to have the force of the law for the Israelites, as the Lord commanded Joshua." Okay? So, what I want you to see here is the women came boldly before Moses and the other leaders, okay, and said, "Hey, it's not fair that our father died. He didn't have any male descendants, and so we are the only descendants, and we don't want the land to leave our family," which God really was clear about, that land is to stay with the family. And as they are going to divvy up the land, you'll see that play out more, that the land is to always stay with the family, and that's why you have the year of Jubilee and so forth, so that the land always goes back to that family. Now, so they were saying, "Hey, that's not fair," and Moses took it before the Lord, and the Lord said, "Yeah, the women are right. It's not fair." And so, God set up this plan of the way the land was to be divvied up. Okay, and you'll find it as you go through the Bible here, and then even more so as Jesus comes along in the beginning of the New Testament, how Jesus elevated women. Women, like I said here, were not treated well, and were treated almost like cattle and traded, for that. And you can see in different parts of the Bible how that was done. Okay, And then, but Jesus elevated women, even to like the witnesses that witnessed his resurrection were women, okay? And you remember at that time period, the women weren't allowed to be witnesses in court because they weren't, they were disrespected that much, okay? So that continued on through church history where Christianity elevated women, okay? And you will find that other religions don't do that. And I pointed out where Christianity has spread through the world, the women's lib has strengthened, and there's been liberation for women to be more equal with men. All right, but you find in other areas where Christianity has not spread, and you've had these false religions, this idol worship, and everything else, that the women have been held down, really, okay, and not elevated at all, but treated again like cattle and so forth, and in the Muslim community, you got to cover up the women and everything else, and they're not held in high regard. But Christianity is one that does that, and it's with Jesus who did that, who we follow. So you look at that, and I challenge you to even look through history, and you can see that play out where women have been elevated because of Christianity. All right. So, hey, thanks for watching. I am a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey looking at the book of Numbers. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.